Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the youngest YouTuber that has ever lived. And this has to be a world record because young Emerson is about 30 hours old. And he's already ready to get cracking on his first video. Maybe after he eats first, he's getting a little hangry. So we're going to go ahead and pass him off here in just a moment. But in this video, he wanted to know what's going to happen in the markets this week with AMC stock as well as the broad markets. Because rumor is that we're going to be getting some big catalysts coming this week that are going to shake things up for better or for worse. So here in this video directly, we're going to get into those said catalysts, how they could affect AMC stock, what happened over this weekend, and where the data currently sits with AMC Entertainment, because AMC is confirmed holding above the demand zone. Do we come back and do we retest that? Or what's going to happen this week? I'm going to give you guys my opinion as well as everything that we just talked about. So let's get into it. Let's pass the baton and go ahead and let him cut for a break. You know, he's 30 hours old, so he's got to take a break every now and again. He can't quite spiel on as long as we can here. So let's get into it, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, do what you guys want to do. If you guys do want to come trade with me live in real time, link down below in the description of this video as well. I will put that out because that is the sponsor of this video. Make sure that the darn thing is recording. Now, first things first, this week, okay? This week is going to be a little bit of economic data, but mostly on earnings, guys. So what we're going to get for earnings is Zoom Monday after hours. I'm just going to acknowledge the big ones here. You got Zoom Monday after hours. You have Tuesday pre-market Lowe's and Dick's Sporting Goods as well as AutoZone. Lowe's, that's going to be a little bit more important. It's not going to be the biggest deal just because you already had Home Depot, you already had Walmart, you already had Target. Unless Lowe's says something that's truly shocker here, shouldn't be too much of a big deal. Tuesday after hours, Palo Alto, starting to get a little bit more into that AI, right? Cybersecurity, stuff like that. So that one will be a little bit more important given what's happened in 2023. This market has been solely based off of an AI rally. If AI had not become a popular subject to talk about and invest in, the markets would not be where they are right now. Let's acknowledge that. This could be either the biggest thing to ever happen on Wall Street or the biggest bubble to have ever taken place. And that's the big story of this week, really starting big time on Wednesday. Analog devices in pre-market. Wednesday after hours, you're going to get NVIDIA and Snowflake. NVIDIA has really been the one to lead this rally. For context here, NVIDIA has rallied almost 200% from its lows. NVIDIA is currently a $750 billion market cap company. That means a good $400 billion in market cap has been added to NVIDIA based off of this AI revolution, if that's what you want to call it. AI has been around a while, it's been improving, but everyone is seeming to get more bullish on it as of recently. Rightfully so. This is going to be, supposedly, if this is not a bubble, AI will be a bigger improvement to the human existence than the iPhone. Just imagine that. Bigger than the iPhone. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be everything, according to most investors right now in AI. So what I personally think is a very likely outcome here is this has went far too fast, far too quickly. I think after NVIDIA earnings, you're going to get that buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event. Everything kind of rallied into earnings. You might likely get a sell-off after earnings in AI, which AI is branched into Microsoft, into Google, like I said, NVIDIA, Facebook, Amazon, Tesla. They're all benefiting from this AI hype. Now, if that AI hype goes away, well, we're going to have a big problem. I shared a statistic on the community page over this weekend that out of the Russell 3000, 98% of investable capital is in the Russell 3000. Over 50% of Russell 3000 stocks are below their October 2022 lows. So if AI gives up here, guys, you're going to see a collateral crisis and margin calls possibly faster than this bubble ever occurred in the first place. And that's why I think this week will be important. It's all about AI as well as the debt ceiling. So we're getting news today that Biden and McCarthy are going to meet on Monday to try to avoid a looming debt default. It goes on to say that Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said Sunday that hard choices will need to be made about which bills will go unpaid if the debt ceiling is not raised. McCarthy told reporters that he had a productive call with Biden on Sunday and that staff members for both parties will resume talks later that same day. So, a little bit of good and bad, I guess you'd say. Yellen was kind of, I mean, when you talk about which bills are not going to be paid, if you think about that in your situation, are you going to pay the electricity, the water, the mortgage? I mean, which one do you go without? You can't really go without any of those. So not really sounding too good from her. At the same time, McCarthy sounds pretty positive. It was productive, they said. But last week on Friday, Republicans walked out of discussions, and that seemed to be a very negative for this market. Again, AI kind of holding things up even when you get bad news. So that's why these two factors put together are going to make things so interesting, I guess you could say, for this week. You're either going to rise to the next level of hopium or you're going to crash and burn. And when you crash and burn, these stocks that have rallied the most, it's not biopharma. It's not the devil's lettuce companies. It's not healthcare. It's not oil. It's not none of that. That is a couple billion in market cap. No, you've added hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap to all of those companies that I previously mentioned here in this video. So that capital increase has really let off the burden from shorts and their collateral positions to fund their AMC short positions, right? If their collateral all of a sudden gets halved in value, like JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon says, you could see a collateral crisis, and that could lead to margin calls. Now, I do want to point out this as well, that GME is going to be reporting earnings anywhere from June 2nd to June 8th, aligning with June 2nd, that X date, which could kind of catapult AMC, GME, meme stocks higher and the rest of the markets lower. We've seen this before, and if that were to be the case, if AMC rallies at any point in which these other big tech stocks are falling, that's going to be what you want to see for a short squeeze. There's a reason why Volkswagen is so popular, is squeezed at the bottom of the markets when liquidity has essentially dried up in October of 2008. Lehman Brothers declared bankruptcy on September 15th, 2008. Come October, liquidity had all but dried up. Nobody wanted to give you any lines of credit or go off of your word that you will cover or be able to cover on a short position. No, they wanted their shares back. They wanted you to cover. And I think a similar thing could happen as well this time around. Now, if we take a look at the Stock O Tracker data for good old AMC, you will see that for this week, you don't have a lot of option activity, which I also find intriguing because a lot of the time when you see option activity that is hundreds of thousands on the calls and the put side, you don't tend to get the biggest moves. It's like that option activity kind of keeps the stock pinned because there's so much on either direction. Whereas on weeks where there's less option activity, when you see an influx to one side or the other, whether it be calls or puts, you can see that move to the upside a lot more aggressively because there just wasn't a lot of hedging already taking place heading into that option expiration or heading into that week of expiration. So what we have as far as number wise, about 10,000 calls in the money, 43,000 calls out the money, 26,000 puts in the money, and 27,000 puts that are out of the money. Again, I do want to highlight the June 16th and the July 21st expirations continue to be heavy put options. You are seeing millions of dollars worth of single trades coming through and multiple of those trades on any given day over the past couple of weeks. That has been the thing that has really pushed down AMC as of recently. If you see that improve and you see less of that, you're likely to get a pretty ferocious rally, okay? And that's kind of what I am waiting for here, and at least gonna see, okay? Now, we're getting some bits of news here. It looks like Intera Capital sells 426,000 shares of AMC Holdings, which they have been shorting the stock, so this is not a huge breaking news development. So just want to put that out there. It says Treasurer of the State of North Carolina buys 2,860 shares of AMC Entertainment. Pretty positive headline there, just who they happen to be. Now, if we take a look at the Ortex data, live short interest off free float at about 25%, 128.26 million shares currently sold short. Cost to borrow fees, cost to borrow max at 115%, cost to borrow average 62.5%. Over here, you got about 1 million shares currently available to be lent out, to be traded. Shares available. In other words, cost to borrow fee on that about 65%. So cost to borrow fees have come down a little bit, but they remain very, very elevated, guys. So that is going to do it here in this video. Kind of what we have in store for this week as far as, you know, the AI situation, the debt ceiling potentially could start to lead to liquidity being stressed, which can lead to collateral, more collateral needed to fund these AMC short positions, which could lead to a collateral crisis, which could lead to margin calls. That could start this week. What we seen with AMC on Friday, AMC was pretty much flat. At the same time, other stocks were down a lot, and I think that is a pretty encouraging thing, that you did hold up so well. So something I will continue to watch in this next upcoming week. Now, if you guys also want to come trade with me live in real time, link down below in the description of this video. Nonetheless, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.